What is up? It's your boy Johnny Shreve, aka Mr. Tell Like It Is. Dr. Mike has finally lost the plot. Tempted by steroids? How to decide if it's worth the gamble. This is some of the worst advice I've ever seen in my life. Before I get started, this isn't drama at all. Don't drama. No, my goal isn't to become a famous YouTuber. That's not my goal. My goal is to be the best coach that I can be because I love coaching. I'm doing it for 2 decades. I love it. My biggest goal is to get people to understand how to apply fitness into their life to be able to live a longer, more healthier quality of life. Most of all the information online when it comes to fitness or health and fitness is just what you look like. The looking good part comes after my health. And we need to just change the approach of fitness because you're not gonna be the good looking 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old for your entire life. The thing that's gonna last the longest for you is going to be you. This has been proven time and time again that your health and fitness, being strong, having muscle, good nutritional habits, good cardiovascular health, will literally make you live longer, and not only just longer, but an overall better quality of life. You don't want to spend the last 10 years of your life depending on everything and everything. You want to make sure that you can go for as long as you possibly can. And this advice isn't gonna get you there. And I don't care who the hell's put it out, I'm gonna call your ass out on it. So let's get into this video. I'm gonna tell you why this is the worst advice you can ever give.
I'll be helping you try to understand why in the vast majority of cases, drugs are vastly overrated. So you'll likely make the choice not to do them yourself, though of course you can make other choices no problem, and I 100% respect your decision no matter what. Number 2, there are a few ways you can go about doing drugs. I went about it the okay way. You can go about it an even better way should you choose. So some of the stuff in here will be about like when to do versus do or not do, and the when can be answered better than worse. And Number 3 is I fully accede to the reality that I paid and am paying at all times the costs of my prior relatively, I would say impressive steroid use. And you might have to pay similar costs, but you might have to pay zero costs because anabolic androgenic steroids should usually be used only in specific cases. So let's go through 2 reasons to use steroids and find out if you're one of them.
Let me just say right now, the reason why I'm not doing steroids is because I want to live longer. Even having a daughter, it took me like 3 years. 3 years of her life to be like, you know what, this ain't for me. Because when it comes down to it, I was on the road to continuing steroid use in the hopes of reaching the Mr. Olympia by age 40. Not the way I made it this one, but the way I wanted to. Here was my goal. My goal is to make it top 10, put on 5 to 7 more pounds, make it a top 5, put on a couple extra pounds, and then make it to the Olympia by age 40. I was planning on doing more steroids. Guess who's not gonna be around for their daughter? Me, right? That's why I stopped. So when I look at things now as a semi-retired IFBB pro, I've been through the ringer. I've been in the industry. I know what it's like to be a pro. I've been coaching forever. I would say that I have a PhD in experience. From what I know now with coaching people, knowing myself, all the experience, the people that have been around me that I know and have died, etc. You go on steroids when you medically are in dire need to. Meaning, and I know some people that are in their younger age that have had freak accidents happen where they've, lost testicles during jiu-jitsu, grappling, or hereditary disease. So I've seen from the ages of literally 20 to 70, hypogonadism, erectile dysfunction, your testosterone actually has plummeted, not because you're on a diet and because, you want to be super lean for no stupid reason at all. You're supposed to be a healthy person, healthy man, and for some reason your test is in the dumps. And because it's in the dumps, you have erectile dysfunction, you're depressed, you have anxiety, your mental health is in a rut, you're not recovering properly, your motivation is down, all the things that can lead to the S-ooze-ide word, literally, because that can happen, that's when you go on. That's the only way and only reason that you should go on.
So reason number 1, you're interested in becoming an IFBB professional bodybuilder or a professional powerlifter, strongman, etc. You're already over 25 years old when the brain is mostly done maturing on the macro scale. Taking steroids before that's real dumb because it fucks up your brain. And you have been training hard for about 10 years total, so 10 years at minimum. People who get on steroids before about 10 years of training are just doing the same thing they could have done naturally, but with steroids, not a real good idea. Your natural gains have slowed down substantially by this point. You'd like to compete in a few years. That's part of turning pro, not drug-free, by the way. And you're ready to have a medical staff and coach monitor your health constantly. You're basically like a walking experiment at that point. and you're ready to take loads of ancillary drugs like blood pressure meds and a host of others just to stay relatively healthy and upright. If you are in that demographic, then steroid use is a logical decision you may undertake in agreeing to.
No, it's not. It's not even close. How many people are interested in becoming an IFBB professional? How many people that are in amateurs right now who aren't gonna do jack all squat with a bodybuilding career are doing steroids because they are interested in becoming an IFBB pro? Let's put it this way, guys. Young Chris Bumstead wants to be a pro and he's got all the genetics in the world to become a pro. If Chris Bumstead did not have all of the things that he has, I'm talking raw nutrition, Gymshark, everything that he has over the last 6 years from just bodybuilding, one of the best and greatest who will be of all time has only won $600,000 in 6 years. It's not like, becoming an IFBB professional means like, hey man, you're gonna sign a dope ass contract. Let me just make something real clear to you guys. Do you know how much I made as a professional bodybuilder? You know how much I made competing as a pro, as an IFBB pro? I have made $1,000. $1,000 is what I won. So put your health at risk for possibly nothing. And I'm not bashing on bodybuilding. I'm giving you the real deal of what an IFBB pro actually is. Until you get paid, until you place top 3, top 5, or until you place at a show that gives you money, you get a medal and you get a check, you're still paying to play. You pay $250 a year for your pro card and you pay to do everything else. I was very fortunate from amateur all the way up until pro to not have to pay a cent. I didn't pay a hotel, I didn't pay a ticket for my flights. I was lucky, but guess what? Guess what I would not be able to afford to be able to do? Be a professional bodybuilder or a bodybuilder in general. I would have pissed away so much of my money. I was the best of my country. I won best poser. I won overall. I won super heavyweight and all in one shot. Grand Slam. I made it as a pro. You could say I made it as a pro. I climbed up the ranks, made it to the Mass Olympia, prepped myself to be lean. My tan was perfect, even being black. I was lean as hell, and I did it gear free. Doesn't mean I was natural. What I mean is did it gear free means when I stopped doing steroids in 2021, I haven't done them ever since. And when I competed last year, I did it gear free. The only thing I took was a direct and I said I was gonna do that, 100%, top 5. Let's look at the rest. You're over the age of 25 and you've been training for 10 years. Do you know how many people that have been 25 years old that have been training for 10 years that I know? And the ones that are trained for 10 years, have they actually trained hard for 10 years? No. Their natural gains have slowed down. How do you even know your natural gains have slowed down? Do you even know the proper way to actually, measure your gains if they're actually slowing down? Do you? No. You know how many people slow down their gains at age 25? 0. None. None of them do. You have years left to train. And again, this is something you're doing for the rest of your life. This isn't I've made it to 25, I can start doing steroids now and shorten my life because I've been training for 10 years. Look, I got a daughter. I want to see her when she graduates elementary school. I want to see her when she graduates high school. I want to see her when she graduates university. I want to walk her down the aisle when she gets married. Fuck the dude up. I want to be a grandpa. That's how long I want to be around for. Guess what I'm doing? Training for the rest of my life. The IFBB Pro League is a bottleneck. You know those Culligan water bottles, right? It's a Culligan water bottle with one of those like old school Coke bottle necks at the top. It's easier to become a pro. Like there's more classes now, but it doesn't mean that when you become a pro, you're not getting anything. You gotta be good. Not only do you gotta be not interested, you gotta actually have genetics, and those genetics you actually have to have the willpower and the actual determination to work your ranks up to possibly place. And then when you maybe possibly place, if it's not open class bodybuilding at a high level show, you're gonna walk around with $5,000. You're gonna take off 10, 20 years of your life for $5,000 possibly, if you're good enough? That's not even one of the stipulations. You're just gonna be interested. I don't wanna be a pro. Yes, I can do steroids. Woo! You're ready to have a medical staff and coach monitor your health. I don't know who the hell is gonna actually even follows that. I've been coaching bodybuilders for a decade. Like, those are some of my clients. Do you know how many of them that I know in this industry period have medical staff on them? You know who the medical staff is? Their coach, who's also their drug dealer. You're ready to take ancillary drugs to help your blood pressure, to counterbalance all the other things. This is the stupidest reason to want to do steroids. It is dumb. Hey man, here's a good reason if you want to do a little bit of that, of the creatine. You love EDM music. You're interested in becoming a DJ. What? dumb. If you think you want to do steroids, this is my advice. If you actually have the genetics, someone looks at you as a natural, is like, yo man, are you a pro? That's when you know you might have genetics. If someone looks at you and mistakes you as a pro bodybuilder right now, and you're a natural. And here's the other thing I'm gonna say too. You're gonna train as a pro, as a bodybuilder, naturally. You're gonna try and win a show naturally. You're gonna try and win a show in the NPC naturally. And when you dominate natural, and you're like, oh, you know what, I wanna take it to the next level, and you wanna take that risk that's gonna shorten your life, and you wanna take that risk then? Maybe. The risk is nowhere near the reward. What's the reward? $1,000 at the end of my career bodybuilding and a cool trophy? Now the memories are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing memories. I got more memories that I wanna accumulate. More memories. If you're interested, are you as good as Mike as a bodybuilder? Can you beat Mike? How far did Mike go interested in bodybuilding? Look how far he got.
There's another reason why you could use steroids. You're in your 30s or later. You've been training drug-free for over a decade. At this point, by this point, because you've been training a long time and you're older, your gains have come to a very slow crawl.
You know how many people that I have hired me over the years that are in their 30s that aren't even close still to the genetic limit? The general population is nowhere near close to their genetic potential when it comes to muscle gain. None of you guys are, not even close. That's why I'm busy as a coach, because I'm a coach that actually talks to them, learns about them, finds solutions, helps things to be sustainable in their life, and then they live on to go further on their life to be able to do it on their own. Because you're in your 30s, go on steroids all of a sudden? Look, by the time you're in your 30s, if you're not training hard enough, you should not be going on steroids just to rely on steroids to help you get to your gains. Again, this is something we want to do for the rest of our life. I want to live longer. I made it to 30. Why do I gotta short my life? Because your gains have come to a very slow crawl. I have not met one person, including myself, who's reached anywhere near the genetic limit. None of them. Here's a really good way to know if you've reached your genetic limit. Look in the mirror, take a video camera. This is always says to my clients. You do a 360, and I want you to take your camera, your phone, and rewatch it. And I want you to look at every part of your body and be like, okay, there's muscle on all the places of my body. Let me give you an example. If you look at me right now and I turn around, if at age 30, you can look at your body and be like, hey, my biceps are a good size. So are my triceps. There's no gaping hole in my back from shoulder blade to shoulder blade. I got traps from my neck all the way to my mid back. My erectors are nice and stiff. I got some wings under my arms. My chest is pretty good. I got some abs here. Look, my quads, I got a little bit of a teardrop and you know, some quad sweeps in my calves. If you can do that, you might be maybe close. But guess what? You're watching this video or this video and you're wondering, you definitely have not reached your genetic limit. If you gotta just think about, oh, I wonder if I made it there or not, you haven't come close. You still got gains on the table.
But you really still care about progressing in your physique. Making your physique better is this huge passion in your life.
That's what I really need to change the approach of training. Health and fitness isn't about just putting so much emphasis on how much and how you look. Can any of you guys get on the floor right now? Do me a favor right now. While you watch this video, I want you to get on the ground. Like, I want you to get your butt on the floor without your hands. And then I want you to stand back up without your hands. And do it without being like, I want you to do that. And then I want you to comment in the section honestly and be like, I could do it with ease. And if you can't do it with ease, then your fitness priorities are you want to look good, but you can't get off the ground without using get off the ground. You can't get down and off the ground without, can you touch your toes? Can you touch your toes with a fairly flat back? Are you mobile in your groin? Are any of those things? All I see is I want to look good. I want to do resistance training and that's it, which is fine. Because resistance training is important. Strength and muscle is going to be the thing that keeps you around long. But if you can't move it, if it's not a functional muscle, it's useless. I want to keep progressing. You know what progressing your physique means? That you can go for a jog with ease. You can pick up your kids, put them over your head, move around, run around with ease. With ease. You shouldn't be just trying to get myself out of bed or something and you can't. Even myself banged up from 18 years of football, 10 years of bodybuilding, I've still, with injuries that I have, can still move around pretty easy. And my goal is to continue to make that easier and easier and easier. Because guess what happens, guys? If you're planning on living long, if you're planning on living into your 50s or your 60s or your 70s, or even your 80s. And having sweet biceps isn't gonna be anywhere near as good as you being able to actually sit down and get up. To have like good, mobility, flexibility, having good cardiovascular health. So if you decide at 30 years old, you're gonna go on TRT because you're in your 30s, your gains have stopped somehow, you wanna keep progressing your physique, whatever that means, and you decide to go on steroids because, oh, my physique isn't being progressive enough, I need to get bigger biceps, that's way more important than living longer. What kind of stupid advice is this? From a health professional. Like, he could call himself a health professional. I can call myself a health enthusiast and a coach because I've got a PhD, a doctor, I'm not a registered dietitian, I'm a nutritionist and a strength and conditioning coach. This is a health professional telling you that when you're in your 30s, you can do steroids.
And also, like the IFBB pro or person who wants to be an IFBB pro, you're ready to have a medical staff on hand and a coach to monitor your health, and you're ready to take all the ancillary blood pressure stuff and all those other crazy pills.
I coach a slew of fathers, businessmen who are on TRT because their doctors say they need to, not Alex Eubank TRT. They don't want to be depressed. They want to recover. They need energy. They want their dick to work. I'm being real. That's when you need it. And guess what you don't need? When you are on proper HRT from the doctor, when those things are the reasons why you need it. You don't have to be on a whole bunch of ancillary drugs just to counterbalance the things that you're doing because you're not doing it in a healthy way. What is this? This is not the reason to do steroids. Might I add that steroids are illegal. He's suggesting you break the law. Let's make it clear for you. In Canada, steroids are a class 4 controlled substance, which means in Canada, if you get caught with some steroids, it's not explicitly illegal, meaning you're not gonna get criminally charged. In the United States, it's different. In the United States, steroids are a class 3 controlled substance, which means if your ass gets caught with a bottle of testosterone, 1 bottle, 2 bottles, 9 bottles, doesn't really matter, without a valid medical prescription from your doctor, not from your boy next door, or the guy down the street, or your homeboy at the gym, you will get 100% criminally charged. You will have a record. What kind of advice is this? He's lost the plot. It's like, what kind of this is reason 3, which should be number 1, is you should do steroids or think about doing steroids when your testosterone is in the absolute dumps and you find out that your testosterone's low and your doctor says, hey, sir, your testosterone's low. Having any symptoms? And you're like, hey, doc, you know what's funny you asked me that because my sleep's been terrible. Me and my wife haven't had, my girlfriend or boyfriend, I don't fucking know, whatever, haven't had sex because like my dick doesn't stay hard enough and sometimes it doesn't get hard at all. And even when I'm like super turned on, I'll even turn on some like, dirty magazine stuff and I can't get it up then too. And not only that I feel like I can't work out because I'm just so depressed. And even when I do, like I have DOMs for like weeks on end and like my hunger sucks and I just kind of don't want to do anything. And the doc's like, you need HRT. When he reviews your blood work every like maybe 4 to 6 weeks, finds out the right dose for you, and all of a sudden you're like, man, doc, man, I'm feeling so much better. Like I sleep better, my hunger's up there, man. Me and my wife, man, whew, we've reunited, man. She's actually getting sick and tired of it, she kind of getting tired of this shit, you know what I'm saying, doggy? And dog's like, yeah, I know what you're saying, man. He's like, because my boy's working out. And you're like, yeah, and you're fist bumping your dog because you're happy and shit because life's better, because that's why you need it. Don't take steroids for fucking vanity reasons. The biggest misconception is thinking that everyone becomes a pro is gonna be successful. That's the biggest lie. The biggest lie. When you put your whole everything, your worth and your wealth into a sport where they judge your physique, you're gonna be unhappy forever. Mike has a PhD and a channel with 3 million people. He's making money. He's making bucks. You're gonna be just broke with less fucking years on your life with this advice. Sorry to be harsh, but guess what? I give a shit because for me, this is a passion. That's it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. And if you're on the start of your fitness journey, you're trying to wonder if you have any of these things or you don't know if you've hit your genetic limit, you don't know if you've actually made the right amount of progress, you're in your 30s, you're trying to actually progress your physique, but you want to do it healthy and sustainable, and maybe reach that point and you don't know how to keep going with it, hit the link in the description below, johnstreetfitness.com, get on a 15-minute video call with me. We go over your goals and see what we can achieve together, and I promise you, you work hard, you're gonna reach them. Anyway, till next time, you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.